Well, I think that time has come. I really doubt it's April 5th. We're going to get big accumulations of snowfall. This has got to come off of here, this whole assembly. And then I get the 194 plow on the back of this thing and go to town. Now, I do have the coulter here. Okay. I don't necessarily think you have to have a coulter, especially on a field that's been turned. A little bit more helpful, a lot more useful on sod. But we'll talk about that in a minute. But anyways, let's get this cub started and pulled out of here. Get that snow plow off. Certainty. If you put it back, you'll probably lose them. If you don't put it back, you will lose them. And that lower rod, I'll stick back in there. And yeah, that's a drop. I'll leave my clevis right on there. Of course, we know now that clevis is only used for snow plowing, so you can float. You don't use it if you're leveling dirt or pushing dirt or gravel, whatever, which I probably will not do. You never know. Well, the guy that had this before me never used this plow. He only used this tractor to plow snow with. So the guy that had it before him didn't want to go get the pin that fits. He wanted to make sure one fit. He took this stupid pin here. Actually, he wedged this in, pounded this in, and then put this through, I don't know, the spacer, I guess, homemade spacer. Just dumb. Pure idiocy right here. Because in order to use this, I've got to slide this over, and this has to be on the second hole according to the book, and then I got to get underneath there, and I don't know if you can see, yeah, underneath there, and that's got to come over one pin to the hole farthest to the right as you face the back of the tractor. But yeah, first I'm dealing with this. Well, I got it out of there. I just cut it with a Sawzall and then pounded it out, put some WD-40 on there, and it's been in there a minute, man. 25, 30 years, I'm guessing. But yeah, he put that little pin in there and then took a flathead screwdriver and just sprawled it out. And it was pinched in there pretty good, but not the way to go. Well, I got the blue wrench out. This thing is not sliding, and I got it suited up pretty good. I'm going to take this assembly off there and see if I can't encourage it a little bit more. I mean, I'm looking at this, I'm not seeing anything that indicates, you know, some goofy spot weld or anything. In fact, it looks, at least on that side, it looks like it should move. Ooh, that metal's hot. Being pretty ginger about it, but yeah, I got some off-camera work to do. I'll leave it at that. Well, that's how much ground I've made so far. From there to there, so that's, I don't think it's 2 inches, 1 3/4 inches. And we ain't gonna talk about how I'm doing it. I will say that there's heat involved, there's PB blaster involved, and there's force involved. But it's moving one way or another. And I don't think this thing's moved in better part of 30 years. Well, I finally got it. Clear over, slid over. And this is just rust welded, man. But anyways, that's where it's going to go. I'll pin that and then throw this back on there. And I think we're going to start without the coulter first, and then take the mold board off and put the coulter on if we do indeed need it. Now, I think we probably will, and I'll explain that here in a minute. Okay, 2 hours later. Got the fast hitch assembly all put back together, and I've got this set, let's see, 1, 2, 3 holes over, like it calls for in the book. This is gonna get some grease, boy. I ain't going through that crap again. Put a temporary bolt nut on there, and hopefully it holds. If not, well, we'll go to plan B, the pin that works. This here, you want to make sure that's loose so it slides up and down. I'll show you here in a minute. I'm holding a glove while wearing a glove. There we go. That's gonna slide up and down in there like they call for. Yep, that should work. Okay. Again, the coulter will go there in that hole. We're going to go without it at first. Some of this ground is what I call like between sod and knot, so it's going to be interesting. Also, this needs to be out 6 inches. Okay, it's clearly not. And if you don't have a tape measure, just throw a dollar bill in there. Dollar bill's about 6 inches. Might even be dead on, but yeah, I'll get that adjusted. And then, of course, once the mold board's on, we'll use the, I guess, leveling link to level that out. So yeah, let's throw this sucker on there. Now, I got 2 options with this tractor right now. I got a 14-inch one bottom. I have not put this one together yet with the cool trail wheel. And I got a 12-inch one bottom. So I've never plowed with this Cub before. Remember, no rear wheel weights. And so I think I'm going to start off with the 12-inch and see how it turns without the coulter. Now, you can see right there, there's a hole. There's a hole, there's a hole. There's a hole at the bottom of the C, and that's where the coulter goes on and attaches. If I get out there and it starts getting goofy on me, we'll come back and throw that coulter on there. Now, this hitch is still on there. It's a 50-50 draw as far as some guys say, oh, I'd take mine off, it was in the way. It's no big deal, it's attached by a pin. I'm going to take it off. Now, again, it's another one of them items that seem to never find their way back to the machine, so I gotta put it for sure where I know it's gonna end up and stay, so that this for sure can lock against this. So let's get that off of there and get this on there. I could pretty much lift that up and throw it in there by hand, but yeah. There you go. Where it stops, no one knows. I wouldn't mind shining that up. Actually, I think we will. Let's go shine her up. And I think I got everything pre-adjusted. If you're really novice at this, I would take my manual out to the field with me. It's really not that difficult. The tractor's either going to plow well in the ground you have, or it's not. Now, the manual, I caught him quite a few times saying in average ground. That's a very vague term, dude. Let's define average ground. They were playing it safe even in the 40s and 50s. Let's go. Let's plow. Okay, so normally when I mold board plow, I'm going to split the field. I'm going to go right dead center, turn around, come back. A little bit wet that way, so we're calling the center something else. Also, the depth of your plow is controlled by this manual depth control, not your hydraulics. It's this. So first pass is going to be a little bit different than in furrow. Now, one thing I got to tell you, I've never plowed with a Cub. I've plowed with just about every other red power tractor under the sun, but this is the first for me. Let's introduce the tractor here. All right, well, I am Farmall fanatic. A couple of you give me the nickname of Cubinator. Well, I do own 3 currently. Hard telling, could it be a 4th? I don't know, but this is a 55 Farmall Cub, 55. And again, we got the 12-inch in the rear with the gear. And we're just gonna split this field, come back, and just keep plowing her out. There's a little dead furrow there from last year, but either, we'll disc it in. And this is just too gooey and wet. Otherwise, I would have came over a little bit more and centered the field a little bit better, but that kind of negates that option. And I probably should wait. We're getting rain here this afternoon, probably within about 2 hours. How much, I don't know, but I know I want to try this out. If it don't work, I'll wait till, I mean, we got 5 or 6 straight days of sun and heat, and this place will dry out really nice. So yeah, let's go, let's plow. Turning it, but not quite adjusted right yet. And just like that, everything's all back in order. All right, well, I'm going to give you my first time using it to plow dirt opinion. And you can see, based on the mold board, there's dirt that's stuck to that, okay? The ground's still wet. The ground's still wet. I almost hate to give you an opinion after using it once, but prefacing it with that statement, this is my first time using it to plow with the mold board. You wouldn't want to be in front of this tractor when I'm plowing snow, when the snow plow's on there. They don't do as good with something behind them. They're okay. If you had a garden, you know, a half-acre sweet corn plot or something, and you wanted to plow with it, this is your tractor all day. I'm spoiled because I got H's, I got M's, I got Super C's, which Super C we're going to be plowing with too. But, you know, the old Cubby, man, it's old 10 horsepower, it works, but don't get me wrong, it's still red power. And it did okay. It's just doesn't do as good as the H or the M, that's for sure. Pound for pound, plow for plow. You know, I think obviously if you had, you know, a 140, even a Super A, you're probably not going to want to plow with a Cub. But I'm trying to be diplomatic here. I'm just glad it wasn't my first tractor that I ever moldboard plowed with. That's all I'm going to tell you. And that's my opinion. And you can have yours, but I need to plow with it a few more times and get a few. I'm actually going to put the 14-inch on there next when the ground gets drier, and we'll go from there. But yeah, red power strikes again. Boom.